Bestes. Hey everybody, welcome to Tuesday Leadership Zoom. Wow, cannot believe we are in April, end of our bonus month, and it's crazy. I was just saying the other day how insane it is that I've been with Lavelle for 4.5 years, and that last month was the most promotions on our personal team than we've ever had in 1 month. And I have a feeling April is going to be a record-breaking month for a lot of people throughout Lavelle, not just on our team, but in Lavelle. So it's going to be an exciting month. And I was also thinking, I think today, the person I'm interviewing is the 21st 200K. 121 different 200Ks I've been able to interview over the last couple of years. And it's so exciting because you guys get to hop on this, hear from the top, people that are where you want to be. You get to hear those tips and tricks and pick their brains and hear about their successes and failures. And I mean, how cool is that? How cool is that every week we have this for you guys to pull from and hopefully get some great tips and knowledge that could change your business forever. So I'm so excited. And today, if you guys are not familiar, and this is also why I love this Zoom, because we get to get familiar with all these crazy 200Ks in our company. We would never know who they were, their stories, their backgrounds. And I am so excited today because we have Janetta.
I like Janetta because it's different,
Yeah, are you unmuted? Or you might have to unmute yourself.
Lisa, can you hear me?
There you are. I can. I'm
awesome.
I'm actually in a hotel getting ready right now to go out. I am so excited to have you on, and I have not heard your story. You know what? It's so crazy because someone on my team said, "Have you interviewed Janetta yet?" And I'm like, "No." And they're like, "You've got to hear her story. It's incredible. Get her on your Zoom." And so immediately I tracked you down, stalked you, and now you're here. So I'm so excited. I wanted to jump in and start with your story before network marketing. Like, what were you doing? And then how did you stumble into this industry? Is Lavelle your first company? And then how did you find Lavelle? And we'll go from there.
Okay, just had to make sure I wrote all those things down. Thank you so much for having me. I'm not home either, so this is pretty cool. And I almost did this from my car because I was in my car just a short while ago, and I said to my daughter, I have to do this interview, so just sit tight for just a little bit. But I'm not home, but anywhere we are, we get to do this. So thank you so much for asking me. It is a great honor. I was like, oh my God, like Lisa Fuller wants to interview me. That's so cool. But okay, so before Lavelle, I was a stay-home mom. I was a teacher prior to this years ago. And I started with my babies kind of young, not super young, in my early 20s. And then I decided to become a stay-home mom. For a short while after I had my first son, I did go back to the classroom, and it just wasn't like a good fit for me anymore, being a new mom and all that. I wanted to be home. And so I became a stay-home mom. And then Lavelle wasn't my very first company. I did do another business, and it was okay. It was actually better than okay. But, it was not I knew it wasn't my forever thing. It wasn't my home. I knew that I'd have to move on from that company. And eventually I literally had to. I was spending a whole ton of time away from my family, my kids. And although it was like a really great product, it wasn't my fit. And we knew that. And the doors were closing in on that. And I was like, okay, it's finally time to go. And so I thought that this industry was not for me. I definitely was not looking after that to do anything like this ever again. That was my first go at it, and it was like going to be my final go at it. Okay. And so life is crazy, right? Like we have our ups and downs, and I found myself at the point, and I'm sorry if I'm not looking right at the camera, but this light, and like I said, I'm not home, so I'm trying to get used to all this stuff. So I found myself in a place where I was then becoming a single mom. After years and years and years, I'm becoming a single mom. I have these 3 little boys, and I don't know what I'm going to do because I had not worked in like forever, ages. And I had no money, Lisa, like literally $0. Zero. I did not have 2 dimes to rub together at the time. And because I was a stay-home mom, I was always at these, different parks and different, play places with the kids. And I met this lady who, we just kind of connected, on a friendship level, and we exchanged numbers, and, we were doing different things with the kids. And then finally, one day her husband invited me. Can you hear me okay still? Okay, I'm not sure if you can.
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
Sorry.
So her husband invited me, and he said, have you heard of Thrive? And I'm like, here we go. Like, I am not interested in network marketing. I am not starting another business. Like, it's not for me. Like, no, if I do anything else, I'm going to go back to the classroom or whatever. And for 6 months, Lisa, 13 follow-ups, literally 13 times when I went back to the messages and checked. He followed up with me. He reached out. He would invite me to locals. He would invite me to phone calls, experience calls or whatever they were. And I always had an excuse. I always said, no, my kids are sick. I can't make it. My kids like literally were always sick. They weren't, but that was my excuse. Like well, I figured, I had so many children. One of them had to be sick at one point. So I used my kids as the excuse all the time. Like, I can't do this. I can't do that. For 13 follow-ups, I said no, or I guess 12 follow-ups. It was the 13th time that he finally said, hey, can I drop off some products to you? And I finally said, okay, fine. What have I got to lose? It was after literally one of the worst nights of my life. That was my rock bottom night. And he did not know that I had just experienced like my rock bottom moment. And he followed up with me the next morning and he said, I've got some product. Can you just try the product? Lisa, before that, he had never mentioned the product to me. And I think that's so important for people to know, is that he never told me about Thrive. He had always been pitching me a business opportunity, and I was not looking for that. And so he said, would you just try the product? I'm in your area and I can drop off some product to you. And I said, okay, whatever. So he leaves the product on my doorstep. I got excited for some reason. I don't know why, but I knew that, I was going to take it the right way. I knew that I was going to follow the steps to a T, because I also knew I was going to tell him it did not work. And also, because I didn't have the money. So if I tried it and I loved it, like I already wanted that out, I already wanted to be able to say like, yeah, it didn't work. Just knowing that I didn't have the money, that was going to be my excuse that, yeah, I did it perfectly, and it didn't work for me. The next morning I started thriving. I was nursing my youngest son full time. And, I was not myself anymore. I had completely lost myself, Lisa. I was always like this, full of life, energetic, happy person, and life had gotten the best of me, and I was not myself anymore. I would barely make it through the day. We hear that all the time. But I mean, when I tell you, like, I was struggling. I'm looking at the bottom of my screen because there you are. So if you guys see me looking at the corner, that's where Lisa is. Anyway, I was not making it through the day. I would wake up every single morning and I'd just be like, okay, just make it through today. That's it. Just if you could get through today, you'd be okay. And I didn't like that version of myself anymore, but I just felt like, you know what, most people look the same way. Most people are just barely making it. And I guess, that's normal now. Well, I started thriving. And I remember day one thriving. I literally, this is what I tell people all the time, Wonder Woman was born that day because I felt alive. I felt awake. I felt good. Like, see my shirt, like I got this. Like, that's how I felt that day. And there were two things I knew. One, I needed the product. I could not be taking that product. And the other thing I knew was that I had no way of getting the product because I had $0. And so I quickly, started to think, all right, how am I going to do this? How am I going to not only get this product, but I got to tell other people about this. I have to. I started to remember over the course of those 6 months, all those things he was telling me about. He was telling me about, that it's free to join. That was appealing to me because, hello, when you have no money, like free sounds good, right? He was telling me that you could get your products for free. You didn't have to keep an inventory. He said, I remember him saying, like, you can fit this into your day. I know you're a busy mom. And so you wouldn't have to leave your kids anywhere. And I started to think of all of these things on day one. And it was in the middle of the night after I had tried Thrive for the first time. I remember thinking, my gosh, like I need to call him. I need to call him and tell him, like, I want to do this. I don't know where I'm going to get the money from, but I've got to do this. And the next day I called up a good friend of mine and I told her, okay, girl, I'm going to do this. And she said, listen, she had already tried it the first day with me. I called her up that very first day, Lisa, and I told her, listen, you got to try this product. It feels so good. I'm alive. And she knew all these things because she was a sports therapist. She knew all about vitamins and all that. And I knew nothing about that. So the next day I call her up. I'm like, girl, like, I want to do this, but I don't have the money. Where am I going to come up with the money? Meantime, I have my sponsor, like blowing me up, trying to find out where I am. I know you like the product, day one was great for you. Like, where are you? And that's a lesson to all of us. Sometimes people ghost you. You don't know why they're ghosting you. But guess what? I was ghosting him because I didn't know yet how I was going to come up with the money. And I didn't want to tell him, oh, I don't have the money to start. But it took me a weekend. And I always tell people, who tell me I don't have money, okay, listen, where there's a will, there's a way. That's not an excuse to me. I was a person who scraped up every little bit of coins that I had in the seat of my car. I was the person who, yes, I put $2 worth of gas in my gas tank. I was the person who shopped at the dollar store for groceries. Like, I was that person. And so when you tell me, like, no, I don't have money, I go, especially women, like, when we have a reason to, we will find a way. And so we sold some things that weekend, my friend and I, my really good friend, my best friend, Jessica. We sold some things and I was able to start as a promoter. I went from just sampling the product to knowing 100% on the first day that I was going to become a promoter. What he did for me on that very first day when I was feeling really good is he connected me to somebody else. He connected me with this person who shared with me their success. They shared with me their not only their success with the product, but their success in the company. And that was important for me to hear. I needed to hear, what other people were doing. Like, were they good at this? Were they making money? How do you do this type of thing? He asked me the right questions about myself. He wanted to know what I was looking for. And that's important, right? And he listened. And so after I shared all those things with him, he shared with me the importance of getting started the right way. So if you're looking to become a promoter, here's how you get started. He shared the $400 package with me. Now imagine being a person with like $0, and all of a sudden you have, we made enough, Lisa. So like I literally that night, that very first night I started thriving, I remember going on the site. It was like 3:00 in the morning. I went on the site and I put in a $400 promoter pack, and I wanted to see like exactly what it was going to cost me, because I knew that, I needed to come up with that exact amount. And so we sold that exact amount. I remember having to get a prepaid Visa card. Guys, like I didn't have a bank account, like no bank account. They actually wouldn't even give me a bank account, if I'm being honest. I couldn't get a bank account. I was a person, and I'm not embarrassed to share this as part of my story. I was a person that I knew exactly like what or how much I could take out to, overdraft, and then the like I was like really good at like overdrawing my account and maybe putting just a little bit back in there so I could get a little bit more out. Like I was good at that, but I did that at so many different banks that they finally said like, no, you cannot open an account in another bank, and they put you in what's called like this check system. So maybe you owe like $50 at this bank, maybe you owe like, $70 at that bank, $100 at that bank. But yeah, like I could not even get a bank account. Okay. And so I had to get a prepaid Visa card, and I got it for $426 because I knew that that was exactly the amount that I needed in order to get my $400 package. And the key is like, okay, so if you have $426, right? Like I could have said, okay, let me go get some weed, because I was looking rough. Like I was rough looking, because it had been months that I was able to do anything for myself. Right? I could have said, I'm gonna go get my nails done. I'm gonna go get my hair done. Like, I've got a little bit of money now. Like, look, I'm gonna be cute. But I don't know, God, that I thought about, I thought a little bit more, and I was a little bit more wise at that point in my life. And I said, well, instead of getting some weaves, some hair bundles, because we all know what it looks like, I am going to invest this in my business or in a thing, and I'm just going to try. At the very least, I have these products that I know has helped me off the couch, has helped me to stop, screaming so much at the kids, being so like, short tempered, being so, drained and exhausted all the time. At the very least, I know that even if I got that $400 package, the stuff is not going to go to waste, because I'm going to use it. And so for me, it was a win-win. And so I got the package. I remember, Lisa, I didn't have a whole ton of friends. When you're going through a separation, when you're going through so much in life, you lose a lot of people. I did not have a lot of friends. A lot of people don't believe that about me. I've maybe had a couple hundred friends on social media, and most of them did not like me. That's just the truth, right? I didn't know a lot of people, but I knew just enough people. I knew, just a couple, handful. Like if you five fingers, he would say he's open to hearing a little bit more. And one of them was my mom. One of them was a really good friend of mine who lives out in Georgia, and another one was my best friend who said, "Hey, go with this." And so I shared it with them, and they decided, okay, listen, whatever it is that you're doing, what you're taking, I need some. And they helped me to hit my VIP bonuses in the very beginning. I'm going to move fast forward with the story, because I know you have some questions, Lisa, but I did hit my VIP bonuses before my package arrived. I'll talk a little bit about hitting 12K VIP in 21 days. I knew nothing about Thrive. I knew nothing about the product really. All I knew was that it worked for me. But I went on to hit 40K and 80K in our first 4 months. We hit 80K. And then in that first year, we hit 200K VIP. Still to this day, all I can tell you that we did was we followed a very simple system that I know everybody knows about, with just signing people up for free, making sure they checked out info, they get to ask their questions. If they're not ready to order after that, they try the product out, and then we hear their stories over and over again. That's literally all the training I had going from 0 to 200K in that first year, and became the first Black female 200K in the company. And then the first Black female millionaire award recipient over a year ago. But it was because the product worked for me, and I was really, really, truly passionate about sharing that story over and over with people, just because I knew that, if it did what it did for me, that it was going to do something for them. I didn't know, but I was just so excited and passionate for that experience that I knew that they were going to have. And what better feeling than knowing that you gave, that experience to somebody else. So that was my journey in a nutshell from start to where I am today.
No, I am so glad you were so thorough. Can you guys hear me okay? I'm making sure my connection. Okay, cool. One of the things I love in the beginning of your story that you pointed out was that he was pitching you the wrong way. Like, he was pitching you the business and you didn't want a business. And I think sometimes we do that. Like, we're either, and it can go both ways. We're only talking about customer. We don't let people know there's a business opportunity, or we're only focused on the business opportunity. And what draws people in could be the products, most of the time. So don't forget that, guys, because I thought that was huge. Your story is incredible. I mean, how long have you been in? How many years now?
So it's 6 years now that I've been with the company. And I like that you went back to that, Lisa, because the most important thing I think that people forget sometimes is how to listen. And I learned that through my experience. We don't know what people are looking for. We don't know what their why is. We don't know if they're joining this to be a part of a community. That might be all they're looking for. We don't know if they're joining this to absolutely change their lives financially. That was what I was looking for. We don't know where they're looking for this to, feel completely better. So it's important to ask questions and then to listen, because when you're listening, it's in that listening that you get to find out exactly how you can be of service to somebody else. So don't be so quick to pitch somebody the business. Don't be so quick to only think maybe they just want the product and they're not going to want the business side. Like, who told you that? So until that person says to you, this is exactly what I'm looking for, because you have asked, oh my gosh, like, I'm really excited to share this with you. There's so many great stories that I know you'd love, but tell me, what is it that you are looking for specifically? And you just listen. And then the thing is, they might say one or two things, and then your next response is, okay, what else? And then shut up and listen to them and say, okay, what else? And then until they tell you that that's it, they're done, you keep asking what else, because there's more. There's usually more, right? And so you get to that point where you find out and you're writing down notes exactly what it is they're looking for. So if somebody tells you, you know what, I really hate, I see what you're doing. I see you posting on Facebook, and I just absolutely love the fact that you're able to take your kids to the park every day. Listen, sirens are going off for me that, my gosh, this woman is looking for more freedom. She's looking for the ability to spend more time with her children. So now I know that my conversation with her is going to be about the fact that this has opened up the doors for me in so many ways to be able to not worry about how I was going to take care of my children and just worry about, where we're going to go for the day. What are we going to do today? So we really have to just take time to listen to people.
Absolutely. And I mean, 6 years is a while. And I always say on the Zoom, like, I feel like a lot of people see the highlight reel, and they don't know what someone's gone through. And they also just think, once somebody gets 200K, it's smooth sailing, sunshine and rainbows. That's just not the case. I mean, we still hit hard things, lots of hard things. In fact, I think it gets harder because now you have a team of people that count on you, and you feel responsible for people, and a lot of life happens too. So what are some things that stick out for you along this 6-year journey that have been challenges or struggles that you've gone through?
Yeah, I share this part of my journey a lot because, like you said, life happens, and life is going to keep happening. There's always going to be obstacles. There will be ups and downs. Before I started Lavelle, I was just, be careful, mama. I was, like I said, I was becoming a single mom. I was going through so many things legally, all types of stuff. And I remember on my journey to 200K in that first year in Lavelle, I remember having a point where I needed to go to court for some things. And I remember missing my court date close to the holidays. My team knows this story so well. I was so close to it was December 23rd. And for a long time, Elisa, I was not able to share this story without like bawling my eyes out. So, and this sticks out to me because it happened early, like in my first year, and it was like, it could have made me completely stop. But it didn't, thank God, and I'm here. But I missed this court date, and I lived like walking distance to the courthouse. And I remember being super naive. I walked in and I said, hey, I missed my court date. Mind you, I had left the house. I was just able to get a babysitter, was making enough money at 80K that I thought, oh, I could have somebody help me with the kids. So she was home with my kiddos, and I had said to them, I'm going to be right back. I had some last minute shopping to do for Christmas, and I said, I'll be right back. Not knowing that when I walked into that courthouse that day and I told them I missed the court date, that they would put me in handcuffs. They put me in handcuffs, and I went to jail. I went to jail for days and days. I don't even remember exactly how many days it was. It was probably like 5 or 6 days or something. I tried to like block that part out. So don't know how many days it was. All I knew was that it was the longest few days of my life. And it was longer because it was the holidays. And so like nothing was like happening. Like I literally was stuck there. Picture like not even being able to like say, bye to your kids, tell people what's going on. Picture like, you're running this team, you guys are running towards 200K, and all of a sudden, like I literally cry my lashes off, like, oh my God, like just let me go home. Like I completely, like I felt like my world was like falling apart. And I remember just I remember just thinking about like when I'm able to, get home. One, my gosh, how am I going to pick up the pieces? Because I'm pretty sure that there are so many people who are waiting to see me fail, fall down, who are getting enjoyment out of this. And a lot of people were. And I remember thinking, either A, I'm going to keep going, or B, I'm going to stop because this is too much. But I'm so glad I chose to keep on going. What was really funny was Rodney Foster. I remember him saying to me, girl, when I was finally back home, he said, you got paid while you were there. He said, you got paid. And that like like, oh my God, like I got a paycheck while I was there waiting to go home, on Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. Like I literally got a paycheck. Like how crazy is that? But Lisa, that time was so hard for me because what people don't realize is as you're going through, the journey of bettering yourself, there are going to be a lot of people that will bring up your past. There are going to be a lot of people that are going to want to see you fail. There are going to be a lot of people that are going to comb through your life with a fine-tooth comb. I've had all of those things. But thank God I, had one or two people in my corner super close to me who, were my first aid kit. That's what I call it. When you're broken, when you feel like you're bleeding, when you feel like you just can't anymore. I always tell people you've got to have a first aid kit. You've got to have those people who you can call at a job, when you need them most, that first aid kit, right? Like in an emergency, those people that you can call, those books you can read, those podcasts you can listen to, the places that you can go that are going to help heal you, pick you up, help you to get back on your feet, feel better. I had those first aid people, one of them being my mother. And I remember saying to her, when I finally got home, Mom, like, how am I going to continue? How am I going to do this? Like literally people have dragged my name through the mud, literally, like, I'm made out to be like this horrible person. Like, how am I going to do this? And I remember her saying, so what? That literally, like those two words, so what? And I said, you know what, you're right. So what? And we went on to hit 200K the month after. Like, how crazy is that? I was determined. I don't give a F about proving people wrong. I care about, proving to myself that I am, made for more. I give an F about, fulfilling what I need to fulfill as a person, as a human here, whatever the hell I was put here for. That's what I'm concerned about. It wasn't about proving anybody wrong. It was about, proving myself right, that I knew I was created for greater things and I was going to get it accomplished no matter what anybody said or did. I mean, listen, like that was huge. I've gone through so many more things in life where, throughout the course of these 6 years where, for whatever reason, and it's going to happen to all of us, you just don't, everybody doesn't all, it's not always sunshine and rainbows with every single person on your team. But when you know your intention, when you know your heart, when your mind, your heart is in the right place and you have the best intention for people, it really doesn't matter. Some are going to love it, some are not going to like it, but at the end of the day, who you are. And if anything I could leave with anybody on that topic is know what your intentions are. Right? Like, as long as you know why you're doing this, as long as you know, and those intentions are pure, and it's okay for that to better my own freaking life. Like, that is a why. A why is, I need to make more money. A why, like, don't be afraid to say that, right? Because not one single one of those people has offered to buy me groceries or paid any sort of bills for my kids, and I'm not one single one. So yes, my why became being financially free, and my why became being rich. Like, yes, like I want to be able to say yes a whole lot more. Not one of those people who decided to share all kinds of nonsense from that time in my life has offered to do one single thing for my family and I. And so, yeah, you go on anyway. You push through any freaking way, because at the end of the day, nobody's giving you, a check for FP&L. That's a light company we have. They're not doing that. So if they're not doing that, their opinion is invalid at that point. I'm here.
Like I said, you just took us to church. I hope everybody's like really listening to this because, like little golden nuggets. I love when you said, what did she say, Chas? Like, it doesn't.
Well, a lot of things, but she said all those people, you know, judging and doing all those things aren't offering to pay my bills. They're not offering to.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, we put so much. One of my favorite quotes is, imagine what you could do if you didn't care about what others thought. Like, imagine what you would do. And I always think back on my personal life, like, oh my gosh, all the things I would have tried, because I didn't try things because I thought I'd look stupid, or what would someone say? And I mean, I think about how many people are holding back in this business because they're so worried about somebody else, or what somebody might think, or the impression they might make. And I mean, no matter what you go through, I mean, like your story and the whole jail thing. And I mean, everybody on this call, you guys have been in a place like that before, you know, and it's like, you have to push through. Things are either going to make you or break you. And I mean, you let those struggles become things that pushed you and drove you.
And sometimes you're like the jail physically, but you're in the prison of your own mind, your own limiting thoughts, limiting beliefs, and we've all been there.
Yeah. Amen.
Oh,
Amen
man,
to that.
so good.
I want to know what, in 6 years, have you had people like leave your team that blew your mind? Like you were like, what the heck are they thinking?
Yeah, I have. But you know, I was never attached to people. I was attached to the purpose. And I knew that like some people, you know, I kind of saw it as like, I grew up in New York City, right? And I always thought about like whenever I traveled on the train or the bus, right? There were times where I got on at the very first stop, right? Like the original, the station, right? And there were people riding on that train with me. And some of them got to their destination and they got off. Some people got back on right at that same spot. And then we would go a little bit more, we would get to another destination and some people would get off. And some of them were the original people who got on at the very first stop with me. And then some would get off. And then you arrive at the final stop and, you know, maybe there's like 2 of you who got on the original spot. But then maybe there were 5 more people who got on a little bit later and they were with us and we all got to the same destination. You know, the thing is, it's like, yeah, I never attached people to the purpose. Those people had their own journey to be a part of. What I didn't want to ever do was fill myself up with you know, trying to understand or trying to figure out or trying to, whatever it was, convince them to stay, whatever it was. Like, I just knew that we all had our own journey to go on. We all had our own destination. Like, we all have our own stop, you know? And so for me to even spend a moment thinking about, you know, why did they go this way or that way, or why did they stop, or like, it wouldn't even make any sense to me, to be honest, Lisa, to try to figure that out, or even put them down for doing that. Like, they needed to get off on that stop, you know? And so yeah, I've had that happen, but it's okay, because I know that there are other people that might come on the train at a different stop, you know, at a different place.
I think we shouldn't question our own journey because somebody else changes paths. And a lot of people do that. They're like, wait a second, well, this person is deciding to go do this. Should I be doing that? Like, I don't understand why all of a sudden people will think I've got to now, maybe I should be looking at something different. Like, that's the thing, is you've got to stay on your path. Like, you can't let people deter you. It's like loud noise. And I think that's where people are, you know, we're always starting over and stopping because we're waiting for someone else's cue You've got to
Yeah.
kind of be your own person and do your thing. And I mean, people come, people go, and I'm like you, I wish them well and good luck. And
Oh
I
yeah.
mean,
Well, I
no
mean,
hard
it would kind
feelings.
of be like, it would kind of be like saying, okay, well, I know that we had this place called Jamaica Avenue. So I know I'm going to Jamaica Avenue, right? Well, if somebody got off on Springfield Boulevard and I'm going to Jamaica Avenue, well, why the hell am I getting off on Springfield with them? Like, that's not my stop, like that's not why I got on this train. I got on the train to get off on Jamaica Avenue. So how silly would I look getting off on Springfield Boulevard? Like, that's dumb. So when I started this, I knew where I was going. I knew I was going to be one of the top people in this company. Well, if somebody decided to get off at 4K, 12K, well, like, okay, bye girl, have a good day, but that's not my stop. But I had already decided that. And that's the thing. So many people are easy and easily led because they have not decided for themselves yet where they're going. And so if you don't know where you're going, then you're easily led. But I already knew that I was going to 200K. So it didn't matter who stopped off at 40K. Hey, Queens, New York, I see you, that's me. It didn't matter who got off at, some other stop. Like, I know I'm going there. It's almost silly to say, well, okay, well, if so-and-so got off at 12K, then I'm going to get off at 12K too. Well, that wasn't my stop, honey. You can get off at 12K, but I'm going all the way to 200K. But I already knew that.
I love that statement. If you don't know where you're going, you're easily led. I mean, that's so good. I'm like, I've got to watch this back to like totally steal all your little like sayings. What do you do to grow your network? I mean, 6 years in, people think 200Ks, people are just knocking on our door. Can I sign up? Look, it gets harder. I'm like out of my network. So I've got to constantly be growing new people and, making relationships, building them. What are you specifically doing to grow your network every day?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it definitely gets a little bit tougher because, you've totally blown through your warm market, but I think warm market is kind of a myth anyway, because I notice every single day that my cold market does become my warm market quickly. So things that I do, I mean, I have, and you can see one of them, I have 4 children. 3 of them are under 9. And so it's busy, and so I'm not the person that can be flying here, there, everywhere. I'm not the person or mom that can be, and I don't have family here. My family is in New York. And so, you know what, because I know my target market, like I know my target audience. I know who because you can't be like trying to get everybody. You can't be trying to relate and appeal to everyone. Like, you have to have a target, right? Otherwise you miss. And so I know they're going to be women around my age. I know they're probably going to be moms for the most part, not to say somebody else isn't going to, come in at any point that, would appeal to me and me to them. But I pretty much know that they're going to be, probably between 30 and 45, 50, and they probably are going to have children. I know this. So what do? I find myself around those people because that's who I am. That's the life I'm living right now. So I want to relate. I find most people at the park. I find a lot of people at restaurants with my children, waitresses, because a lot of them are single moms. I find people everywhere. I found a promoter at Busch Gardens when I was with my children. But here's the deal, like, I'm always open to attracting new friends. Not necessarily new thrivers, but new friends. I'm open to meeting new people. And so whenever I go anywhere, my thought process is I'm just going to meet the best people. I'm going to meet the people who were supposed to meet me that day, and I'm open to it. And so when you're open to it, you smile a little bit more, you are more receptive, your heart is open, your mind is open. And I connected with those people on a personal level, not on a business level, but on a personal level. I invite them into my life. And so I'll invite them to my Facebook page. I'll say, hey, let's stay connected. Oh my God, you have a child close in age. I'm just talking to you guys like this. I totally don't say you have a child close in age, but that's what I'm going for. Like, let's connect, let's be friends. And guys, 9 times out of 10, I could probably say 10 out of 10, they will ask me, like, what is that? What do you do? They want to know, but I never mention Thrive. I never mention Thrive to people when I meet them. I just want to build a solid connection with them. I want to get to know them. I want to get them to trust me and me to trust them. Hello, because I don't want to work with everybody, and I don't want everybody to be in my Thrive community because some people really suck. But I try to get to know them a little bit, and so that's why I will invite them to my social media, and so they can watch me and I'm watching them. Oh, sorry, Lisa, I just got like a text from you somewhere. But anyhow, that's how I meet new people. That's how I invite new people into my network. And most definitely, once I make those connections with people locally, those become locals. And yes, we started doing locals again. Those become locals because those people know people. And that's how I've been able to build. Like, I'm the t-shirt and leggings type of mom. I don't do much after that. I actually put a shirt on for you guys, but I usually look like that, like with
Wala akong marinig.
I'm sorry,
I can't hear anything.
I can't hear you.
Somebody was unmuted. It was cutting you off.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I'm a t-shirt and leggings mom, and I
Me
feel
too,
people
girl.
relate to me.
I also wanted to know what you do with a new promoter. Like, I mean, obviously our goal is to help people VIP. That doesn't always happen, but I always feel like it's about the longevity, like planting that seed that we're going to try to help you get these bonuses, but these don't dictate your future with Lavelle. Like, I think a lot of people, if they're not trained correctly when they sign, they end up quitting right after they don't get those bonuses. If they're led the wrong way. What do you do? Like, if I'm in your inbox today and I'm like, okay, Janetta, I want to sign up. What happens at that point? What do you do with someone in that first month?
Okay, so we definitely have a system in place for people who are super brand new. So they will go through, maybe you can call it an orientation, right? But they're going to listen to a call that we put together for brand new promoters. They're going to watch a video. They're going to write down a list of people that they're excited about to share Thrive with. And then once they do that, we're going to connect them to myself, another 200K on my team, some 80Ks to help them to understand the VIP bonuses and how to launch their business. Okay. So at that point, we're going to help them to get their first, 2 customers, 2 promoters at that point. Yes, but we work closely with them. But here's the thing, I let people know that we're playing ball. So if I throw the ball at you, you got to throw it back at me. I throw it at you, you throw it back at me. Yes, I'm going to be there and help you. I don't hold people's hands through it. Once you click the promoter button, you said, I'm going to be a big girl and, make this happen, right? Like, I wanted to be a business owner. And so I'm going to take on the responsibility of somebody who's owned, who's, just starting out a business would. And so, yeah, we do make sure that they get the connection. We do make sure that we stick closely with them in their 14 days. We have a chat box open with every single one of our VIP and 800, 1600. So anybody in their VIP window, they are connected with their sponsor and with somebody else, an 80K or 200K that can, help keep them on track, okay, during their VIP period. That's pretty much what we do with our super brand new promoters.
So I want to know also, like, what we always talk about income producing activities. What do we need to be doing every day to grow our business? For those people that are on here, I mean, new or they've been in 5 years, 6 years, what are some things that you think people need to be doing every day, no matter what, to grow their business?
Okay, and we talk about this part a lot, but what I do want people to know first is that it's not going to be exactly the same every day. Do something every day, but it's not going to look the same. I would be lying to you if I told you that the last month of my business has looked like the first few months of my business, right? Like, we know that life is happening. We know things come up. We know, okay? And so and also, my gosh, like, thank goodness, I didn't feel like my business had to look like everybody else, because it couldn't. Okay, so let's just be clear on that. You don't have to look like every single other person as far as what they're doing, what time they're doing it, how, like let's just throw that away. Know that you've got to work, know that you've got to be consistent. If you want to go to the gym, you're not going to go today and then next month then think you're going to lose 20 pounds and have rock hard abs. No, but you don't have to go to the gym the same time, same place, same whatever as your homegirl, right? Like, you're going to do it like how it works for you. So that being said, the things that I did every single day is I made sure to follow up with people. I made sure to at least say hello, to at least check in and see how they're doing. I'm talking about people who are not yet thriving. I make sure to do that. And it just a touch, it might not be are you ready to thrive? No, just a touch. It might just be, a like or a heart on Facebook. It might just be a comment. That is a touch. Okay, so I make sure to touch people every day, the people that I'm interested in. Now, I also have a list of people that I know I am touching or wanting to touch every day or every month, let's say, because it'll change. So per month, I probably have a list of like 5 people. Sometimes it's been 10 people, but anywhere between 5 and 10 people, I know, okay, well, this is my list of people that I am focused on, because it cannot be everybody, for goodness sakes. Like, how do you know what you're doing if it's just, everybody can get up? No. So I know that, this girl, like, if somebody catches my attention for whatever reason, I write their names down and they're on my VIP list. These are people that I know that I am going to be touching this month. Okay. So I have those people. So yes, follow-ups is key. And then checking in on your samplers. Who is experiencing Thrive? If somebody's saying to me, like, I can't get any new thrivers, and they are not getting this product into people's bodies, like, I just can't even take it seriously. Like, well, how do they know, what the product is going to do for them? They're supposed to just trust you, all this. No, like, make sure that people are experiencing these 3 steps. Like, okay, you want to know why nobody has ordered Thrive yet? Because they don't know what it feels like. Feeling it is believing it, right? It's just like when you go test out a car. Maybe you didn't know that this was the car that you were going to buy, but you sat in that seat, you drove that thing, you felt it, and so, yeah, like, make sure that you have at least some samples out there. I don't know the number, okay, but at least some. I think people get stuck on, I have to have 5, and they feel like they failed if they only had 3. No, just do freaking something. I don't care what it is. Just keep freaking moving forward. Okay, that's better than staying stuck. I cannot give you, like, the number of follow-ups to do. I don't know, love. One day it might be 5, one day it might be 25, right? But I know that if I want more, I'm going to do more. So if you're always doing 5 and you feel like you're not getting anywhere, girl, do 25, do 35, whatever else you need to do to get more. Okay, so you've got to do more. So follow-ups, checking in on those samplers. And then for me, it was those connections. So I knew that, like, those connections that I made, they were like directly connected to the amount of money I was going to make. right, per week. So if you're talking to a single mom who's like, you know, how am I gonna feed my kids? Like those three-way connections or whatever you call them, those connections, to me, they were like hours that I work, right? Like, so if you knew I get paid $15 an hour or whatever, I knew that every three-way call I made could potentially be like a VIP 800, 1600 or whatever. So I just related that to my paychecks. I did not go without a three-way call. I know it sounds crazy and I don't know how I did it, but again, when you have a reason to do something, like nothing else matters. Like who is doing it with you is irrelevant. When you do it is irrelevant. The only thing that's relevant is why you're doing it. So I was doing three-way calls and connections each and every single freaking day. Like I don't go a day without doing at least one connection because I knew that that was connected to the amount of money that I would make. And yes, I was thinking about the freaking money because none of y'all was going to pay my bills for me with these 4 kids. So yes, I was thinking about how much money that I was going to make with those connections and those things. Consistency for me was everything. So no, I didn't skip days. You know, I didn't skip days without posting. I didn't skip days without reaching out to people. I didn't skip those days. Like I don't know how you would even skip the days, but yeah, no, I didn't skip.
You know, I think it's interesting that you didn't mention like what you know, what's in all the products, the cloud office, getting on 20 Zooms a day. I mean, I think some people get caught up in the busy work, you know, where they think they're going to grow because they're, you know, wearing 20 patches and on every Zoom. You're not going to grow that way. The only way you're going to grow is exactly what you just said. That's the only way you're going to grow. Follow up, building connections, knowing who you're talking to, and making sure you're consistent with it. That is it. That's the only thing that's going to grow your business. It doesn't matter how many patches you wear. That's not going to grow your business. I thought that was so profound. We are coming up on the top of the hour. One last question for you. If you had one last words of wisdom, piece of advice, something you want to just say to the new person all the way up to somebody that's been here, what would it be?
It would be yourself. I love knowing that in this company, I don't have to be like anybody else. I can't be. I don't know how to be anybody else. And I love that I never felt the pressure to be anyone. I was free to be me. People love you just being authentic. They love for you to just share your own life, your own story, your own journey, you know. So my thing would be to be yourself. And the other thing I would say is know why you're doing this, because there is no amount of who that could change my why. There is no amount of who that would change my why. Meaning, I don't care who's on board. I don't care who's left. I don't care who's supporting me. I don't care if I have an awful leader. I don't care who. All I care about is why. I care about why I started this. I care about, you know, the fact that my children need me to be their hero. Like, I don't freaking need to be a hero to anybody else on our team. Like, I don't need to be their hero. I need to, you know, be able to support my children. I need to be able to say yes a whole lot more. I need to be able to say, you know, yes, you can have that $7 book that I once said no to because I could not afford a $7 book from Barnes and Noble. So I don't care about who when I know my why. I don't care about when. Oh my gosh, like, it's raining outside. I have to cancel my local. Like, oh my God, I got my period. Oh my God, my baby daddy sucks. Oh my God, I just went through the worst breakup of my life. Oh my God, like, I have a thing coming up. Like, when does it matter? I remember doing my calls and my scheduling and things like right by an air mattress that I had when I started out my life as a brand new single mom on my own. We had a lamp and an air mattress, and where doesn't matter either. I remember people who started this business who are millionaires with the company now who didn't have a where. Their where was Starbucks. Their where was anywhere there was Wi-Fi. You know, oh, Janetta, I don't have a home to do a local. Janetta, I don't have a spot to sit in to do a Zoom. Like, here I am, not even at home doing the Zoom because I committed to it. You know, where doesn't matter. The only thing is your why. So if you don't know why you're doing this, like the other things will just distract you. So be yourself and have a firm grip on that why, an unshakable belief in why you're doing this. And I mean, I think all of the other stuff will be irrelevant. How do I do a three-way call? Girl, it don't matter. Just pick up the phone and freaking do it. Oh, how do I say, girl, it don't matter. It doesn't matter. How does it matter? As long as you know why you're doing it. So for me, it's going to be, my words of wisdom will be yourself, you know, be the best one. And no matter what those obstacles are that you have, be the person that doesn't ask for exceptions. Don't ask for, you know, a promo. Don't ask for to you know, lengthen the deadline. Don't ask for, you know, exceptions. Be exceptional. Don't ask for exceptions. Be exceptional, and just have, you know, the balls, have the audacity just to go out after any freaking thing that you in your mind know that you can achieve. Like, I feel like once you have the thought, that means that it is possible. The fact that you can even think it means that it's possible for you, right? Otherwise, you wouldn't have the thought. Like I always say, like, that would be so petty of God, right? To give you these thoughts and give you these hopes. Like, you're dreaming of something more. You're dreaming of something bigger. Like, God's given you that vision, and then what you don't have, what you need to get it done. Like, that would be so petty. Like, I would be like, sir, we have to have a conversation. So as long as you can have that dream, that vision, that means that you have everything in you to make it happen. Be the best. Like I always said that, like, I'm the freaking Beyonce of Lavelle. Like, I'm better than that. I'm better than the Oprah of Lavelle. I want you to think of my name and think Thrive. Yes, absolutely. Just like every time you see or hear Michael Jordan, you're going to hear basketball, right? Like when you hear Michael Jackson, you're going to think of pop. When you hear Serena Williams, you're thinking tennis. You have to hear freaking Janetta Joseph and think of Thrive. Like, you have to be that. Like, you're going to hear Beyonce, you're going to think music. You're going to have to hear Janetta Joseph and think Thrive. I want you to. So be that. Whatever it is for you, you be that.
Man, Janetta, you're amazing. I'm so excited that you just like poured all this into us this last hour. And I hope all of you guys took some major notes. We did record this. I know I'm going to be having tons of people in my inbox. Is the recording ready yet? Is the recording ready yet? So make sure you guys get everybody out this recording because it was fire. I mean, so many golden nuggets. I appreciate you so much for hopping on and sharing with us and taking the last hour out of your life to pour into people that, I mean, that's what I love about this business and the people in it is, you know, we don't care if people are making money off of us or through us. We just want to help people. And that's what it's all about. And I just appreciate your time so much. I have a feeling you're going to be getting a lot of new friend requests. You guys don't friend request her, follow.
Thank you so much,
Janetta.
Doing my hair, so thank you guys.
Thank you, and you guys, thank you guys for hopping on today. We just got paid. Go make your payday post. I appreciate you guys getting on each and every week, and we will be here next Tuesday, same time, same place, same link. So get it out, share it. My goal this year is to get this to 500 people on a Tuesday. So let's get the word out, and we'll see you guys next Tuesday. Thank you guys. Thanks, Janetta, so much.
Bye. Thank you.
on the little shadow.
Yeah. You too.